On May 20th, 1927, two things happened that changed the course of travel history. One was Charles Lindbergh taking off from Long Island, New York, for the first ever solo transatlantic flight to Paris, an immediate disruption to the entire field of aviation worldwide. The second one wasn't that sensational. On that day, J.W. Marriott opened a small root beer stand in Washington, D.C., marking the start of a business that would eventually grow into the largest hotel chain in the world. Years later, J.W. Marriott Sr. told Lindbergh, "We went into business on the same day, but you got all the publicity." What began nearly a century ago continues to thrive today. This is the story of Marriott, a brand that has proved its resilience over decades and has grown from its humble debut into the largest hotel chain of modern times. John Willard Marriott grew up on a family farm in a small town in Utah, where he and his 7 siblings took care of the crops and the livestock. At age 21, after completion of a Mormon church mission in New England, he visited Washington, D.C., and was astonished by the sweltering weather that made people sweaty, thirsty, and miserable. And that's when he saw his opportunity. So after he finished college, he purchased an A&W franchise, and in 1927, he and his wife Alice moved to Washington to open a modest 9-seat root beer stand. Who could have thought how big that would become, growing far beyond the Marriott's wildest dreams? The root beer was a hit, but the ice-cold drink was only good for the hot summer months. So, when it became rainy and cold in October, the Marriotts expanded their menu to include hot Mexican food to warm their customers. Now they had a real restaurant, the Hot Shop. By 1928, they were operating 3 hot shops, including the first drive-in restaurant on the East Coast. Despite the Great Depression, business went well. The restaurant chain grew, and so did its popularity. By the end of the 1930s, hot shops had become a favorite local gathering spot. Teenagers, couples, business people, families, all kinds of visitors came to enjoy a piece of freshly baked pie, a cup of hot coffee, and consistently good service. As the Great Depression loosened its devastating grip, Marriott expanded the hot shop business with new services. In 1937, they started catering boxed lunches for airlines at Hoover Airport. Later, during World War II, Marriott began managing cafeterias in defense plants and other government facilities in D.C. Eventually, this food service division expanded to cafeterias in offices, colleges, and hospitals. Fast forward to 1953. Hot Shops, Inc. goes public, offering its stock for $10.25 a share. The stock sells out within 2 hours. By 1960, there were 70 hot shops in D.C. and 7 states. The phenomenal success of the hot shop restaurants, with their family-friendly atmosphere and a focus on cleanliness and quality, laid the foundation for what was to come. By the late 1950s, as the era of automobiles and air travel began to boom, J. Willard Marriott observed a new opportunity in the lodging industry. So in January 1957, the first motel was launched. It was the 370-room Twin Bridges Motor Hotel in Arlington, Virginia, with a hot shop by its side, of course. J. Willard's son, Bill Marriott Jr., was appointed to lead the new segment.
And my dad said, "I don't know what to do with this hotel." I said, "Why don't you let me go run it?" He said, "Well, you don't know anything about the hotel business." I said, "Well, neither does anybody else around here. So let's roll the dice." So we rolled the dice, and we got the first one profitable, then we built another one, and then we've just gone from there, one at a time, one step at a time.
The venture's success was mainly due to the property's proximity to both the Pentagon and the airport. So 2 years later, the second hotel, the Key Bridge Marriott, opened in Rosslyn, Arlington, Virginia. In fact, it became Marriott International's longest continuously operating hotel, welcoming guests for 62 years until its closure in July 2021. However, at that time, it wasn't Marriott International yet. the company still operated under the Hot Shop brand. It was only in 1964 that it was renamed Marriott Hot Shops, Inc., and in 1967, it became Marriott Corporation. This marked a pivotal shift from restaurants to hospitality, setting the stage for an era of aggressive growth, numerous acquisitions, and diverse experiments. The 1960s and 70s saw Marriott expanding both domestically and internationally. In 1969, the first international property was opened in Acapulco Bay in Mexico. And in 1975, they entered the European market with the first Marriott hotel in Amsterdam. Throughout the 1980s, Marriott spread its wings globally, opening hotels across Europe, Asia, and beyond. And it wasn't only the lodging division that was developing. The company's interests still spanned multiple restaurant chains, in-flight catering, and food services in different venues. Besides, Marriott explored other niches. In 1972, Marriott became the first lodging company to enter the cruise market through a partnership with Sunline. In 1976, two Great America theme parks were opened, one in Illinois and the other in California. By 1984, Marriott had sold both theme parks but had formed a vacation timeshare division, now called Marriott Vacation Club International, and also a senior living division. That same year, Marriott introduced the Honored Guest Awards program with incentives for frequent travelers. Over the years, this loyalty program has undergone several transformations, ultimately becoming Marriott Bonvoy, one of the most popular hotel rewards programs worldwide. J.W. Marriott stayed at the head of his brainchild until his death in 1985. By that time, Marriott was a $3.5 billion corporation, catering for more than 150 airlines, running over 1,400 restaurants, and operating more than 140 hotels and resorts worldwide. But Mr. Marriott wasn't running his growing empire alone. His wife Alice was deeply involved in the family business and contributed to its expansion. In the early days of the hot shops, she kept the books, compiled menus, and picked the decor. Her sharp business sense propelled her to the position of vice president of the Marriott Corporation, as she actively engaged in the company's continuing success. However, it was their older son, Bill, who deserves the biggest credit for that incredible growth. After he took over the post of CEO in 1972, Bill's focus on the hotel division and ambitious strategy of aggressive acquisitions and bold new ventures led the company to where it is today. In 1992, Marriott Corporation announced its split into two separate companies: Marriott International Corporation, which would manage and franchise properties, and Host Marriott Corporation, which would own hotels and also run the food businesses. The two Marriott brothers, Bill and Richard, headed the newly separated divisions. After restructuring, the company kept growing at a mind-blowing scale. In 1995, Marriott International announced the acquisition of 49% of the Ritz-Carlton Hotel Company, an iconic luxury hotel brand, for $200 million. Some 3 years later, Marriott bought another 49%, taking almost full ownership. In 1997, Marriott International closed a $1 billion purchase of the Renaissance Hotel Group, the 10th brand in its portfolio. The additional 150 hotels in 38 countries doubled Marriott International's overseas presence and gave it another full-service luxury collection hotel brand. The early 2000s saw Marriott building partnerships and launching joint ventures with luxury brands, Bulgari and Ian Schrager.
We asked our customers what they wanted in a new hotel in the future. They said a better room at a lower price. And I said, well, did we spend $1 million in research to figure this out? And somebody said, yes, we did. I said, that's $1 million we could have saved, because we knew what the answer was.
To cater to more price-sensitive millennial travelers, Marriott launched Moxy Hotels in 2013. It's a playful, affordable, and stylish hotel brand designed to give guests everything they want and nothing they don't. But the real change was the $13 billion acquisition of Starwood Hotels and Resorts worldwide. The deal combined Starwood's 11 brands, including Sheraton, Westin, W, and St. Regis, under the Marriott umbrella to create the world's largest hotel company. And that's where it is today. The 21st century has not been without challenges, including economic downturns, global crises, and alarming data breaches. But nothing had such a devastating effect as the COVID-19 pandemic. 2020 was the worst year ever for the entire travel industry, and Marriott was no exception.
COVID-19 is having a more severe and sudden financial impact on our business than 9/11 and the 2009 financial crisis combined. In most markets, our business is already running 75% below normal levels.
In April 2020, 25% of Marriott's 7,600 properties closed. Worldwide occupancy was at 12%, and revenue per available room dropped a staggering 90%. Despite brutal cost-cutting, Marriott's 2020 financials took a terrible hit. Revenues dropped to half of previous years. Operating income decreased by 95%, and net income was negative for the first time since the 2009 crisis. To stay in business, Marriott had to adapt to the new reality, so urgent contingency plans were implemented for those properties that remained open. Strict cleanliness standards, new hygiene procedures, contactless solutions, all that helped Marriott get travelers back to its properties as travel gradually resumed. So by the end of 2021, the main KPIs had almost rebounded to the pre-pandemic levels. Both net and operating income had also neared the 2019 results and doubled in 2022 as restrictions were canceled and travel volumes surged.
Fast forward, 2022 all-time record EBITDA for the company. First quarter this year, all-time record quarterly EBITDA. And what's really encouraging to me, it's across every segment and really every part of the world. The recovery has been consistent.
Today, Marriott International stands as strong as ever, a true titan of the hospitality industry. It boasts nearly 8,800 properties across 32 brands in 139 countries. Its portfolio of 1.6 million rooms is almost 10% of the estimated global room count. And its valuation of over $69 billion makes Marriott the largest public hotel company by market capitalization. So, how did it become the go-to hotel chain for millions around the globe? What helped Marriott endure the test of time and rise to the very top of the hospitality Olympus? Marriott has several ingredients in its success recipe. J.W. Marriott's original goal for his business was good food and good service at a fair price. He knew that happy guests are repeat guests, so the company's commitment to quality and service has remained constant over its history and consistent throughout the entire chain. Whether you're in New York, Tokyo, or a small town in the middle of nowhere, you can expect the same high standard of service and comfort. Behind every great hotel experience is a team of dedicated employees with an unchanging motto: people first. Marriott prides itself on treating its staff like family. In fact, the company has been one of the Fortune 100 best companies to work for since the list was first published in 1998.
But it's always been the major belief of our company: take good care of your people, they'll take good care of the customer, and the customer will come back. And we celebrate them, we train them, we teach them, we provide opportunity for them.
One of Marriott's most effective moves was expanding its portfolio to cater to different types of travelers. They've got everything from luxury resorts like the Ritz-Carlton and St. Regis to more budget-friendly options like Fairfield Inn and Spring Hill Suites. This diversity means they have something for everyone, from business travelers looking for a quick stay to families on a lavish vacation. In the digital age, Marriott stays ahead by embracing technology. Back in 1995, it became the first hospitality company to offer online reservations. Since then, it has continuously innovated and upgraded its technology, from mobile check-ins to smart room controls to AI-powered chatbots. In the recently launched Marriott Design Lab, the R&D team explores cutting-edge technologies such as transformative furniture, expandable rooms, proactive room controls, and so on. Marriott has even experimented with virtual reality and robotic staff in its hotels. Besides enhancing guest experiences, the company uses AI to optimize its internal operations. Dynamic pricing, staff-level prediction, revenue management techniques, all based on data and advanced analytics. Marriott sets itself apart from its industry through its use of financing, which results in Marriott typically managing its hotels, but not owning them. It sells most of its hotels to outside investors and then manages the property under a contract. This has given Marriott a way to flatten the curves of a cyclical business, generate cash for capital-intensive projects, and scale at breakneck speed. Who doesn't love perks? Marriott Bonvoy, their loyalty program, is one of the most popular worldwide, boasting 200 million members. And loyalty it is. Their last report states that in 2023, over 60% of their bookings were made by Marriott Bonvoy members. Marriott is also committed to making a positive impact on the world. Its sustainability and social impact platform, Serve 360, includes a number of initiatives such as supporting local communities or reducing water usage and food waste by 15% and 50% respectively. These efforts resonate with eco-conscious travelers and help build a positive brand image. From a simple root beer stand to one of the leading hospitality brands, Marriott's success is the result of a well-thought-out strategy and a focus on quality and diversification. So, next time you're planning a trip, you might find yourself checking into a Marriott and be certain that you're in for a great stay. Want to hear more stories about big travel brands? Be sure to hit that subscribe button below and stay tuned for upcoming videos.